Okay. So tonight, I I want you to go into this with the mindset of it. There's going to be a lot of things we talk about, but you don't have to do them all. Okay. You don't have to like focus on them all. These are like little tweaks that you can add in if you're feeling like you're doing the things, but you're not seeing the results you think should be happening. Okay. So we're going to talk about what those little things are that we could possibly tweak, look at, modify, help with. And I would say if you're in that position, like you feel like you're following the plan, you're doing the things, and you're still not seeing, the things you think should be happening, right? Then, use one or two of these and you can build on them if you want, but see what happens, try them out. Now, if you're in the plan, but you're like, I'm 85%, right? Which means you're probably like 75%. Let's be honest. We always give ourselves a little higher percentage and don't quite count things very well. Then you would want to just focus in on doing the plan better, right? Just being better at something in the plan, whatever the hang up is. That's where you center your focus. These things are all going to help us in general feel better. So they're good notes, even if you're not like super dialed in on a plan right now. I am not. I'm like following gut protocol and tracking, but I don't feel like I'm like, okay, boy, we are really gonna, hammer this out. I'm not really looking for a result right now, but I am looking to just feel really good. So I'm tracking my plan, eating my food according to my brackets, and just kind of letting that take me for the month and making sure I get my workouts in. Is anyone in the place where you feel like you're doing all the things, but things aren't quite tweaking? Okay, good. It's okay. We've all been in different stages, so it doesn't matter. All right. So let's start with, first, let's talk about the idea of how you're like, a lot of times with results, we will talk about weight loss. And so I kind of want to address this just in the beginning. If you're working to lose weight and you're doing no exercise or cardio, your weight loss, your journey is going to look different than if you are working to lose weight and your strength training. And the reason I say that is when you're strength training, you are taxing your muscles, right? So you are going to have some inflammation, especially in that first couple weeks. So if you're like just getting started on a plan and you're like, I'm totally dialed in, but things aren't working. If you're like 2 weeks in, you really shouldn't even be thinking about if things are working yet, right? Because if you're strength training, you're creating inflammation in your body is trying to figure out what's happening. You have thrown it for a loop a bit, right? So it is still just managing all the things it's doing. The other piece of that is when we're strength training, you are benefiting the muscular side of you and you're burning calories. So you can, depending on where you are in your weight, right? If you have a larger percentage of weight to lose, you can simultaneously be building muscle and taking off fat. The scale is not going to reflect it in the same way as someone who is not adding muscle at the same time, right? The scale is going to go down in a faster, different way. So when you're strength training and working on a weight loss goal, I really, really, really want you to take pictures, want you to do measurements, especially if you're watching the number on the scale, because you're going to see your body change in inches faster than the scale. You're going to see differences in how you look faster than the scale. So just make sure when you are going into it and a lot of times we talk about this not seeing results, right? But if we're only tying it to one thing, then you might not be seeing that thing changing, but you could be seeing your clothes fitting better. Maybe the shape in your face is different. Maybe you're stronger. Maybe you're sleeping better. Maybe you have more energy. Maybe you just feel better all the way around. And those are all those things that are still really amazing results, but they're not tied to a number, right? So before you get too hard on yourself, because I know sometimes we can do this, we're doing all the things and it's not working, but maybe it is working. And, depending on how long you've been doing things with your body like in a way that wasn't benefiting it, it's going to take a minute for your body to turn the ship and to, get into this new routine. And that's why consistency is so important, because working out for a month, feeling like you're not seeing results and then stopping isn't going to help anything. Continuing on, looking at some of the things we're going to talk about in a second, and just keeping the routine going and making tweaks here and there is where it's going to make the big difference. And to really see what works well for you, what your body responds to. And, it's not about, one more last thing I want to say too about strength training. It's not about killing your body, right? It's not about getting in there and lifting 6 days a week. It is giving yourself a good hard workout, making sure you have recovery time. And that's going to be different at our different ages. You will need more recovery time as you get older. And it's okay to have that recovery time, because when you go do your workout, you're giving it everything, right? And then you come out of it, you let your body recover, and then you can go in and do it again. But if you constantly, hitting your body with hard workouts and not recovering, not giving it enough fuel, then it is going to, go wrong somewhere. There could be an injury. You're not going to feel as well. You may not have the energy to sustain in your day like you were before. So just my blanket statement of how you're looking at things, right? How you're kind of examining where you're at. So let's talk about, is there any questions about that or anything there? Let me get a drink of my kombucha quick. Okay. I love that stuff. I'm having peach tonight. And yes, I'm having the whole bottle.
I miss it. I haven't had it for a while.
Come at me, bro, right?
Yeah. No, you have the whole bottle. I missed mine.
So good. Okay. So first thing on my list is stress. Stress is that secret little thing in there that if we're constantly stressed out about things, our body is working toward that stress and not necessarily toward healing our muscle, helping ourselves lose weight, helping ourselves have good workouts, helping ourselves have good sleep. So if you have a lot of stress going on, figuring out how to minimize, hey Lily, how's it going? Figuring out how to minimize that stress in any way possible, or sometimes I find too, people are so stressed about doing the right thing with a plan that it's almost like they don't do anything, right? Or like, it's like, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do that. Just find something to do, right? Put the veggies on your plate, go for a walk, get a workout in, whatever it is, and then get that thing off your list. I think that's why most of us find that in the morning, getting that workout done is so helpful, because it's off the list. I no longer have to think about it. But if you don't, right? Like if you're normally a morning workout person, and all day long you're thinking, I didn't do my workout, I have to get my workout in, I have to get my workout in. Like you have just spent so much mental energy and stress and decision making off something that could have already been done, right? So whatever the stress is for you, then, let's just kind of work on taking that off, minimizing, taking it off the table, however that works for you and whatever's happening. Hi, Bev. We're just getting started on our list of tweaks that we can make. Okay. Number 2, sleep. So it has been studied and proven that if you're not getting enough sleep, it's harder for you to lose weight. It just is. Your body just does not have the time to repair, to replenish, to do what it wants to do. And so if you, this is individual, but women do tend to need more sleep. So if you're a woman, which looks like we all are here, I would be shooting for 8. Oh, there's Scott. Scott, you don't need as much. I would shoot for 8, but you may even need 9.
No idea.
You could, so you really have to see what works best for you and how you're feeling. Let's say you're getting 8 all the time and you're just like, it doesn't feel like enough, right? So you really have to figure out what's best for you and your sleep cycles. And if getting to sleep, staying asleep, I mean, I highly recommend last thing, we've talked about it a few times on this call, but is like my most favorite supplement that we have right now. Like I don't miss it. I make sure that there is always a supply in the house. I just feel like I sleep so well. And I was a good sleeper before, but there's something different about this one. It's like it's like, I don't know. It's just like I melt into my bed and then I stay asleep and it feels amazing. So think about your sleep. How can you improve it? If you need a set bedtime, if you need a bedtime routine, the evening stretches on body, all wonderful things to help you kind of slide into that nice sleep. Okay, let's go to this one. Okay, so NEAT. This is a personal trainer term. So it's non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So when we're doing a workout, that's going to be roughly 10 to 15% of your calorie burn for the day. I mean, just in the moment, you do a half-hour workout, you've got like 150 to 200 calories that you burn. Okay. NEAT is all those other things you're doing outside of keeping your body alive. So if you're walking to go do the laundry, if you carry the laundry upstairs, if you're washing dishes, if you're walking the dog, anything that's not specifically exercise as right, I consider a stroll, like it's different if you're walking for like speed and you're like going for a time or you're really heart rate up fast. That's going to be more exercise. I'm talking you're kind of strolling around the grocery store, or maybe you park a little farther away in the parking lot to walk in. All of those things add up to roughly 30% of your calorie burn. So when you're looking at, how sedentary am I in the day? And sometimes I find if I'm doing really hard workouts, like when we would do 80-day obsession, I was lazy the rest of the day. I'd be like, I'm just going to sit here because my body's really tired. So notice, how that's working. Are you moving around? Are you doing things? If you have a desk job, right? How often can you get up once an hour, maybe, and do a lap around the house just to move and walk and just kind of get things moving? All of that is really going to help you feel better. And it will also just it'll burn some extra calories, right? It's just extra burn that does not tax your body. It's not like a workout, but it definitely helps bump things up if you are feeling like, you're not quite there in where you're headed, in your results that you're looking for. Sorry, lost my train there. So does that make sense? Anybody, any questions so far on any of the things we've got here? Okay. And then now this is more for portion fix or gut protocol, but are you in the right bracket? And, with to be mindset, I would say, what are your your plate it methods looking like? So when you're looking at your food, are you did you pick the right bracket for your workout, your activity level? So like, I actually tend to let's say I'm in a maintenance bracket according to my workouts. I will stay the same if I really stay on task, but if I have a couple extra bites here and there, then I'll probably gain a little bit of weight. So I'll do just like this little bit lower than a maintenance bracket because I think I'm fairly sedentary during the day. It just depends. It depends on the weather, right? Like in the summer, I'm walking a lot more, I'm paddleboarding, I'm doing other things, but in the winter, it's like, you may have to adjust things depending on the season, looking to see, are you full all the time? What are things looking like compared to your activity level and the bracket you're in? So make sure that you feel like you're in the right one, or that you're eating enough, right? Because you want to be fueled so that you can have good workouts, that you're not lacking in energy. Because, if you are tired, then you're not going to burn as much during your workout. You're not going to want to do more things during the day. So both are the same kind of case, right? Are you too little? Are you too much? Trying to find that right bracket for where you're at. And then along those lines, are there times during your day when it's, a little snack here, a spoonful here, a bite there? That kind of stuff really does add up if you're calling it close in your plan. So it's just looking through your day, like, are there things you're not tracking or accounting for? And Alana's really big on this because she really likes the 3 meals and if a snack if you need it. But those little, I think she calls them licks, tastes, bites, they all add up.
BLTs.
Yes, BLTs. They all add up. So you absolutely have to take those into account. And it's kind of a good habit to just get into not having them, right? Just not like, I know when my kids were smaller, it'd be like there'd be some chicken nuggets left or just, a couple bites of mac and cheese they didn't finish or whatever. And so it's kind of like just letting those things be, letting them go. All right. And then the last piece is looking at the foods you're choosing. So if you're on Portion Fix or on To Be Mindset, on Portion Fix, the top third of the food list, and I don't even know if To Be Mindset is it structured the same way, Bev? Do you know? Is To Be Mindset structured to where like the top, did they even have food lists? Yes. Well, there is some because there's some restriction on
Well, yeah, but I don't think that there's any type of like I
order.
don't think that a hierarchy or
Yeah, because on Portion
Yeah.
Fix, the top third of the food list are your most nutritious, best choices for that container. They're going to have the most nutritional value. They are going to fit in the plan best, get you the most bang for your buck. So if you're like, let's say you're on Portion Fix and you're having corn tortillas a lot. Well, those are a yellow that's in the bottom third. So that's going to be different than having a sweet potato that's in the top third, how your body digests it, the calories involved, the nutritional value involved, because when we're getting good nutrition in, our body has less cravings too. It just feels more fulfilled with what you're giving it. So when you're looking at your food choices, like, are your vegetables more starchy or are they more watery? And it's simply, you could just change one or two things, right? So maybe instead of having beets for every meal, not that anybody does, right? You add in a zucchini for one of the meals or add in some spinach or a salad somewhere. So it's really looking at those food choices and are these like the biggest bang for my buck? And I'm not saying you have to change them all because we all like our stuff, right? But if you're feeling like you're in this place where you're like, I want to increase my results, I want to feel, that things are working better. And, that's a very subjective term, the results. But, look into the food choices you're making so that you can, see, are those benefiting me versus just kind of filling up a container. So those are the all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, so To Be Mindset does have a food list,
Okay, good.
but they are in alphabetical order. So they're not in a hierarchy of best.
choices. Okay.
So they're alphabetical order, but they do have food lists.
Right. And so like one of the things I like to think about, like if you're on Portion Fix, you can have butternut squash and it's a green. But if you're on To Be Mindset, butternut squash is an FFC. And so you want to make sure, because it's a starchy vegetable. So you want to make sure that like you're choosing things that fit what you're trying to do, right? So if you're having your butternut squash, then you're choosing essentially a yellow or an FFC over on To Be Mindset. And maybe you want to swap that over to something that's more water filled, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, any of those things, right? So did I miss what anybody have any additions in there that you feel like we missed on tips for, just kind of bringing in those results?
What about how many times a day you eat? Is it better to eat more or less?
That it doesn't seem to be very proven, because there's some plans that go as high as 6 meals and then some plans that are 2 and 3. I mean, I don't think the whole one meal with IF is very beneficial, especially for women, but I haven't read
But
the study of that.
in this book, on the one page, it says, spread your containers. They call 5 containers the energy balance, but six meals, not containers,
Yeah.
as the fat burner. So
Yeah, and I
don't know.
think the way Autumn approaches it is that you're having smaller, like, because they're not full meal size, right?
Right.
Your meals are much smaller in portion fix. And so you're having these energy needs when you need them, especially when you're on time nutrition. She has them portioned out. So you're getting the things, like you're getting protein before your workout, and then you're getting protein and a fruit after your workout. And then you're going into like veggies later in the evening. So you have less hard things to digest going into your sleep, right? So she kind of plans it in that way, whereas Alana likes 3 big meals.
Mm.
And so it really depends on how I think you feel about your meals, because some people are good with just 3 meals. And then some people feel like with portion fix, I feel like I can eat as I want, like I can eat more often, and I like that.
Mhm.
I'm kind of in this 4 meal thing right now. That just seems to kind of work where I'm at. Like I have a breakfast, I have a shake usually after my workout right now. And then I have like a later lunch and then a dinner. So I think you kind of have to figure out, and I still get all those containers in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you, oh, sorry. Go
Go ahead.
I don't know if you had talked about water, bathroom,
We talked
and
about water.
cortisol.
We did
and
talk about
cortisol.
stress and cortisol. Yep.
Yeah,
But we did
that's-
not talk about water and pooping. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yes.
regular bowel movements is very critical to a healthy body. So if you had the gut protocol, you have a poop chart in there, but you can find this poop chart anywhere on the internet to tell you if you are have good poops, I guess you could say. But you definitely want to have a daily. But it's interesting because following the gut protocol guy, he's like, you can still poop daily and be constipated. So
Correct.
I would do, if you feel like that's a concern, there is, you can do some reading about what constitutes like enough and a full, and how it how it should look, feel, be.
Mhm.
I haven't really
And
dove-
There's some that even say like you should go as many times as you eat in a day.
Oh
right.
my God.
So, well, I say that when I hear that people don't go every day. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And
No way,
I come
really?
across people.
Lil-
I come across people that
Well,
Wow, that got your attention.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Every time you eat, you're supposed to go.
some
Yeah.
people feel that way.
there's some
Wow.
there's some
Yeah.
there's some
I am very abnormal.
yeah
Heck,
there's some that say
most of
that like
my-
if you're eating you should also be evacuating at the same frequency. Yes.
You know what happened to us when my daughter was a baby? She was a couple of months old. She got really constipated. And I was breastfeeding. I don't know how she got constipated. I had to bring her to the doctor, and he had to pull it out. And they're going, how often is she going? And I'm like once a week. And my husband went, "What, are you kidding me?" I said, "Well, I didn't see anything wrong with that because me, my sister, my mother, we were always like that. I used to go once a week." He go, "How can you
Wow.
do that?"
Oh my goodness.
Now I go once.
Were you like in pain or what?
I remember as a kid, my mother always giving me enemas.
Oh,
So I guess, but I was so used to it that I only went once a week, but now I go more.
That's
But,
good.
it's such a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
know.
it's a good thing. It's a really good
It's so
thing.
good.
I know, but it's like and even now, like there are days that I just don't go. So I have a special tea I drink. It's herbal. It's not like, man-made stuff. It's herbal. and that will get me going. And every once in a while, I just have to have it because I just don't go.
Yeah, I have a dandelion tea that
Mm.
is good for that.
It's like,
I
Um,
know people that get the detox from the Ultimate Reset, and they'll use that. Like
yeah,
if they're traveling or something, they'll take the detox to get them moving.
yeah,
mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But yeah, it's
almost
an
got
herbal
that, but I
supplement.
just love that stuff in general.
It's
Mhm.
so yummy.
And it's
This is my
I think
week
it's
of drinking
dandelion
it.
and turmeric. I can't remember
Your
now.
tea is
No,
dandelion
that-
and turmeric.
I thought that's what the detox was.
Mm,
I'm pretty positive turmeric's in there because but
I don't know. I don't remember it being yellow at all.
Oh, it is absolutely yellow. I'll go get it. Hold
Oh,
on.
really?
yeah,
Yes.
yep.
Yeah.
So, and then water. I mean, water is the thing we we all need in general, helps everything work, helps everything function, helps everything heal. So water.
Yes. At least half your body weight in ounces of water. If you
Right.
go past that, that's bonus points. But unless you're a
Well, to a
sweater
point.
or it's hot,
Yeah, to
Yeah.
a point. Like some people I think
Yeah.
drink too much water because then you're just
Yes.
helping your body flush out vitamins that it may have used at
Right.
some point. It's like it's just kind of flushing things.
right. Yeah.
There is turmeric in this.
This is,
Joy, are you talking to us? You're on mute.
this has
I-
sediment in it. And
I
that's-
asked it once a long time ago, regarding, like, if I take my Energize and I take it in my bottle, does that count as water? Or,
Technically, caffeinated drinks are not considered part of your
No.
water usage.
But if you drink caffeine on a regular, this was something recently that I listened to. I can't remember what physician was talking about it. But if you are a person that consumes caffeine on a regular basis, that your body is used to that consumption, it can technically count. Like they were specifically talking about coffee in particular,
Yeah.
because I was always under the impression that it's a diuretic. Well, basically, eventually your body kind of almost adapts a bit to it and it becomes less of a diuretic over time. So
Yeah.
then you can kind of
right,
make it count. I've just never personally counted it because I do know that like I don't have enough caffeine on a regular basis anymore. And when I did, I needed more than what I was drinking
but like I
past
thought
my
was-
coffee.
plain water. So if I take my Hydrate and then I have an Energize, and then if I'm taking half of my body weight, now I'm not a tiny girl, that's a lot of water if I'm not counting what I'm taking with my Hydrate, what I'm taking with my
Right.
energy.
And I would say
And
you
I
can
would-
count it with your hydrate.
I would.
But
I would count it
because
with
the
hydrate.
Energize has the caffeine, that's where it's like a little bit in the gray
Oh,
area.
so
Yeah,
just like
right.
half,
Because caffeine actually blocks, it's like it blocks the signal for your cells to retain the water. It's not, it doesn't push the water out. It just blocks that your cells keep it. And so it's not necessarily like it's pushing things out, but you're not holding on to it like you normally would. And what Bev's saying is basically your body can adapt to understand that you do this regularly. So it may not have that signal be as strong. But in
Mhm.
general, like if you're hitting, let's say 100 ounces is where you want to be at, and you're hitting 90 without your Energize, you're probably fine. But you know what I mean? I would see, and some people, like Bev said, if you're sweating, if it's hot out, then you're going to need some more. So,
Right.
you just want to kind of temper that. And like, if you're feeling sluggish in the afternoon, it's always great to have some water then before anything else, because it could just, like, I find by the time 1 or 2 hits, I haven't had any water in a while. I'm super used to having it all through the morning. And then it's like, for some reason after lunch, it's like it disappears for a while. Like I don't
Mhm.
have the water bottle with me or something. And then then I kind of need it.
if I do anything right, it's I drink my water. I
Perfect.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know, when
that's wonderful.
I energize, I mean, I get enough fluids, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny
That's-
because I do find I'm more thirsty with coffee. Oh, the dogs are gonna start barking here pretty soon. I do find I get thirsty with coffee, but with Energize, I do not get thirsty. And maybe it's because I drink my Energize in the whole 30-ounce jug. Like I
Right.
fill them up my Shakeology bottle with my Energize. But with coffee, I do like I need water after.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, when I drank coffee, I just mainlined coffee.
Mainline.
It was, I drank like a pot and a half of coffee a day.
Yeah.
It
That's-
was intense. Yeah. And when I was a kid, I would go from coffee to soda, back to
Right.
coffee.
Yeah.
So there was no water in between.
Right. I was just soda. I didn't drink coffee at the time.
Wait, when you
Yeah.
were a kid, you had coffee?
Well, I started drinking coffee when I was like, 14, 15, pretty
Wow.
regularly. Yeah. And my dad made like, coffee, like it was some strong coffee. Like, I mean, he made it really strong. I clearly remember one time I actually had like a little withdrawal type of reaction. Because I started to shake, and the only thing that kicked it was more caffeine. And I was like, wow, guess Dad was making a really strong coffee this morning.
Right. You were in it. You're like you were having nitro or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And we didn't do a whole lot of that. Like I didn't do like like energy drinks weren't really a thing. Yeah.
No,
They
yeah.
started coming out with like the extra caffeine cola or whatever. I wasn't interested. Oh yeah, Jolt. That's right. Jolt.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
Joel.
And I didn't really do that. I was Dr. Pepper. I like Dr. Pepper and Coke. Those were my main sodas. But yeah, I don't know. And coffee. Lots
Do
of
you
coffee.
drink soda now, Bev?
No, I haven't drank soda. I mean, I've had probably over the last I don't know, 15 years or so, I may have had like a couple. 25 years? Oh, I guess it has been. Oh, I was drinking soda when we met. Anyway, but no, probably about like 15 years. I might have had like a couple, like a handful, and it was because I was at like a bar that would mix the vodka with like soda.
The 7
that was
Up
how I did it.
instead of
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like I would ask for, like vodka tonic, and they would give me
Yeah.
like really sweet 7-Up or something.
Thank you, Jimmy Hayes. Now.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, any questions around that? Anything we feel like we missed? And like I said in the beginning, these are lots of things you can do, but it's not something you need to do them all. Depending on where you're at, like just focusing on, am I getting enough sleep is a great thing to start with, or how can I lower my stress, or am I measuring with my containers, right? Like any one of those things, just take one, kind of add it in, get good at it. And then if you feel like things still aren't kind of where you want it to be, then add in another. But those are just kind of the extras. Because I think sometimes too, depending on how long you've been doing your plan or how you feel about your plan, I mean, if you're, like you can get a little loose with things. And sometimes you're in a place where you don't want to feel that way. But that's the other piece of things too, right? Like what you're expecting for results, it'd be a really good idea to talk with your coach. Like if you're expecting something specific or you're really working towards something specific, then to talk to your coach and be like, this is what I really want to have happen. So that you can get more personalized on it, because we are all individuals and it could look different for different things of what's going on. So. Well, good. Does anybody have any general nutrition, anything they want to talk about? Oh, what you got there, Lily? Got new kombucha?
Yeah, it's a new kombucha made in Maui,
Oh, nice.
Valley Isle. Guava, pineapple, and then I found pineapple ginger.
Yum.
So I thought I'd give them
Wow,
a try.
that sounds good.
I know. Well, there was some that, again, you have to read the label because it was 26 and 29 grams of added sugar, but it was, from Maui. So, but it had a lot of added
So you
sugar
had-
to it. So, yeah. So excited to try them.
Good. All right. Well, if we don't have like other questions or anything, we can just talk about Lily's trip to Hawaii. Live through her.
Sorry, I was late to the call.
All right.
I have a
That's
question.
okay.
Yeah, Joy.
So what would you recommend? I'm having a really, really hard time with my sugar cravings.
Oh, okay.
Real hard. I was thinking about maybe doing the refresh. Would that help?
Yeah, it can, the 3-day refresh.
Yeah.
It definitely can. Are you doing Shakeology?
Yes.
Okay. So that's my first thing because it is clinically proven to help with sugar cravings. And then I would also work toward doing some subs. Like if you're craving something, like if you can sub in a fruit.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Even if you go over on your fruit, that would be better than having the sweet, right? Or if there's something chocolatey, maybe making like the Shakeology energy balls, or we've had some recipes for some different chocolate desserts, right? Using either protein powder or Shakeology or Recover pudding. Any of those things are going to be better. Yeah.
Okay.
And then from there,
This is what I deal
yeah.
with. Anybody want some Girl Scout cookies? I have a house full.
Oh, God.
No, see, they don't come in my house because
Yeah.
of that.
And that's the other hard
Exactly.
part, right? You're
Oh,
around
yeah.
these things
Yeah.
that taste good, you want, you know what I mean? And that's the other hard part. Like, can you put them in an area where they're not seen?
Well, luckily they're almost all gone, so I'm at
Okay.
the end. But I need to. I didn't buy any because I specifically didn't want to eat them, and then I got cases and cases because my daughter's selling them. Of course, I sell them at work, but
Right.
I ended up getting a couple boxes, and then of course, a couple cookies and a couple more cookies. And
Yeah.
Christmas alone and candy for sweets at the month of December was horrible. So I've been struggling. It's like I take 2 steps forward and I end up taking 5 steps back.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll just need a few strategies, right? Like anytime I make something sweet that is outside of like a Shakeology, and even when I do make the Shakeology things, for me, it goes straight to the freezer. So I don't see it all the time. It's not sitting on the counter where I can just walk in and be like, that's readily available.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, not bringing it in as best you can. Right. I understand there are circumstances. And so, you know what I mean? You're
Right,
selling
right.
cookies right
Like-
now. Yeah.
So that's what I'm struggling. But I can't do it right now, right this second, but I was thinking about purchasing it in the near future. But I want to get to a point where I don't want to purchase it and then not fail, but I don't want to be disappointed in myself because I spent the money to get it and then I'm not sticking to it. So I'm trying to.
Honestly, I think, I think the 3-day refresh is a good quick reset. But to me, like if you've really got a craving that's been going on a long time, to me, it needs to be a longer session because you can come out of that 3 days and pretty quickly resume old habits.
Yeah.
Like Sue right now is doing the ultimate reset. It does work fabulous for really resetting how you're eating.
Yeah.
You have to stick to the plan. So you really have to mentally go into it, ready to do it and be excited to do it. It's
How
not
long?
because it is expensive too. It's not one of those
Yeah.
plans where you want to just like be like, oh, kind of do it. You need to really just be ready to be like, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to go through and I'm going to take care of myself so much over this next 3 weeks and
Oh, it's
really
3.
dedicate.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
other
21
thing.
days.
the other thing would be really focusing in on either 2B or portion fix, whichever plan you want to do. And just eating off that top third is also going to really help you feel better and have less cravings.
I really lean into, so like I struggled with sugar cravings and dessert issues because I grew up having dessert after every dinner pretty much. And so I like love chocolate so much, and I
Oh.
just love sweets and cookies and just everything. So for me, I really like, as soon as I could, like I started having more than one shake. And by that, I mean like my evening shake would either be with tons of ice so that I could eat it like it was ice cream. And then my husband got to make fun of me because I was shivering on the couch because I just like literally consumed one of those mason jars full of like Shakeology that I had just totally iced up. And I would tell myself, like, even if I added like an extra teaspoon or tablespoon of peanut butter, or I added a little bit of, whatever milk you use or whatever, it was better than what my brain wanted,
Mhm.
which would have been, any cookie, candy, whatever. I was getting something nutritious. So I would do things like that. I would make it into just like an icing. So I would just do a little bit of liquid and just mix it to the point where it would just be like I could spoon it up and eat it. And I would also do Greek yogurt with flavored liquid stevia drops. And like they have a chocolate one, and I would do that.
And Alana has a ton
sometimes-
of recipes for that. They're called
like
Wonder Whips.
Wonder Whips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
did
Wonder
that
Whips are
before,
yummy.
before Alana came around.
Yeah.
I was doing that
Way before Alana, we were Wonder
before
Whipping. it.
Alana. I had that one down. I mean, yeah. And, sometimes I would add a little peanut butter to it. But again, once again, I was giving myself a protein because all those have protein in them.
Yeah.
And then I was giving myself a sweet treat that was like a dessert, but it was not as like detrimental to my long term or to set me into a cycle of craving more sugar. And so, those were just things that I did that helped me, because I found like if I was just eating fruit alone,
They cute.
I was gonna want something else. Like I needed something else. So I always pretty much had to have like some type of protein, fat together. So I don't know if that helps you.
Thank you. I took notes.
Okay, good.
And I would say too, Joy, like what type of dessert do you like? Like if you're gonna crave something, what is it?
Pastry.
Okay.
Cook-
Yep. So there's
Um,
tons of brownies, mug cakes, cookies that are all Shakeology or protein related, right? So I would, make a few, throw them in the freezer. So they're not out on the counter necessarily, so you can grab them quick, but they are there when you want something. The energy balls I think are delicious.
Oh yes.
Many
I
energy
used to
balls.
make them.
Yeah.
I used to make them into like small, like so that they were more like the size of like just a little bit smaller than a grape, because to just have one energy ball, I was like, that just isn't enough for me. So I would trick myself and I'd make them smaller and then I'd freeze them. And then I could have 3 instead of
That's
just
what I was gonna
one
say.
ball.
I love how you trick your brain.
Yep.
Yes,
It's true.
I
It's
do.
true.
I
Yeah.
trick my brain all the time.
It's
There's
good.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, oh yes, I did that a lot.
And the Recover hot chocolate, so delicious and like filling, and like you're like, by the end of the cup, I'm like, whew, that was a lot of chocolate. Like I'm kind of like, okay, I'm good.
That's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would definitely try those things, because here's the thing, going cold turkey, to me, it's like you're gonna want something more ferociously at some point, and that's where you get kind of bingy about things,
Oh,
right? Where you're
yeah,
just like, well, give it all to me. So it's like
Yeah.
allowing yourself to have these things, but just choosing better options so that your body still continues to, because you're trying to get off the junk that's associated in this, the store-bought things, because they are made for you to want them more.
They're doing a good job.
They do a wonderful job of it, right? They have scientists working around the clock trying to figure out how to get you to eat more. So it's like taking those things, giving yourself a more nutritious treat. Oh, one of the things Lily would do too, weren't you doing frozen grapes? And then like you could squirt the lime juice on it, and then people would say it would taste like a Sour Patch Kid.
They're so good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like lots of great options.
I do, I
Fro-
freeze grapes and put 0-calorie Jello powder. You coat them with
Yeah.
the Jello and then freeze them and then.
So
they're-
I'd even work off that, right? Because the Jello is going to have things in it you don't want. And just like either do just a little bit of real sugar
Yeah.
or, and some lime juice, so that you still have that kind of thing, but you're working away from the more processed things. So figuring out ways that it can be with real ingredients that you're making is the first step, right? And then getting them more nutritious and working them in.
Yeah, and I would even, when I would end up having something, I would find recipes that used real like ingredients that were not, hydrogenated this, high fructose this, chemicals added in. I would find ones that were like, I know that there's a Samoa recipe out there
There's one on our blog,
that is like real.
Mhm.
Oh, is there? I found it quite some time ago. It's a Samoa, and I also found a tag along one. And I've not made them because I know that I would just be dangerous, because those were my cookies. I loved them. So I just don't do it. But yeah, when I do make something, I usually make it to take it somewhere, or I make it and then I will freeze it. Like as in Deanna said, I will literally portion it all out. Like I'll have like whatever, I'll have my piece, and then I will portion the rest and freeze it. That way, if I want it, I can just pull it out of the freezer. But I really have to want it because it takes time to thaw,
Yeah.
and you get to have that conversation with yourself. Like, do I really want this right now? Or
Yeah.
would I be okay with one of these other options that I could immediately make and not have to wait for it to thaw out?
That is literally how I lost weight prior to Beachbody. Is if I wanted it, I had to make it from scratch. So if I wanted a cookie, then am I willing to spend the next hour and a half in the kitchen for this cookie? Or can I be fine without it? So it's like, you got to make things a little bit harder on yourself, right? That's why the pre-bought stored stuff sitting on the counter is just too easy. It's too easy. It's always there. So there is a copycat coconut caramel cookie on Fixate. It's called Copycat. I'll send it to you, Joy.
Okay.
Made with almond flour, and it looks delicious. Looks like a Samoa.
Those
Ooh.
Snicker bars that we made in the meal prep class were yummy.
Yes.
So if you haven't
Those are
made those,
so
Joy, those are
good.
really, really good.
So good. And Jess has been making them in the mini muffin tin now. So they're like
Yeah.
you just do the layers instead of dipping the entire thing in chocolate. It really just depends on how much chocolate you want. Because the dipping the whole thing in chocolate does take some time, but if you're really into the chocolate, then it's a good option.
Oh, who's not into chocolate?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying I'm not into the time it took to dip them all.
Right.
So I just poured the chocolate on top and let it harden there.
My brother actually does not even like chocolate. He
Oh,
never has liked
God.
chocolate his entire
Really?
life.
I don't know anyone.
Yes.
Like chocolate.
And I feel like I know somebody else too, like because it's such a rarity. But yes, he does not like chocolate. He doesn't want anything to do with it at all. I'm like, I will take all of it. Thank you.
Yes. Good, more for me.
Carrie, was that helpful for you too? I know you said you struggled with sweets too. I don't know if you can just write back in the chat. I know your internet's always kind of messy. Okay, good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you were talking about Recover chocolate. Is that richer than the chocolate whey
The
Shakeology?
Shakeology. To me, they just taste different. I like the chocolate flavor of the Recover better than the chocolate flavor of the Shakeology, but that's a personal preference.
Okay.
To
'cause
me,
I
the
felt-
chocolate in the Recover tastes like a Wendy's Frosty. And I was a big fan of the Frosty back in the day.
Okay.
And FYI, you can mix that up with some xanthan gum and some ice and have yourself a Frosty with the Recover. Just in case you're wondering.
Yeah, no, the last time I had Recover, I wasn't digging the flavor. So I wonder if it had changed.
Was
I
it the
know-
whey or was it the plant-based? Because they are different flavors.
Yeah.
No, not Shakeology. Is there two different?
Yeah, there's
Recovers
two
now?
different recovers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But if you
It must have
didn't
been the
like-
plant-based.
If you didn't like the regular Recover, I would say you're probably then not going to like the vegan Recover any more than you did. You know what I mean?
I mean, it wasn't. No, I like
Yeah.
the richer taste of Shakeology.
Yeah, so then I
Yeah.
would go with that because you
Mhm.
can totally do that. And like I know the recipe on the blog has you do a marshmallow extract in it to give you even more like richness of hot chocolate. There's a Shakeology hot chocolate recipe on the blog.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just go with your preference on it.
Okay.
And like lately I've done the pudding with chia seeds and without, and I really like, I'm not doing yogurt right now, but like it was really nice to have that little yogurt topper because it's like it made it all richer, and then you could put some cocoa nibs on top and just made it, I don't know, just made it more rich, and plus you got a little more protein. So that's also a great option. You have to wait the 4 hours if you're doing the chia. So if you don't have the time, then just do a little less liquid.
Well, and when I would make that icing, sometimes I would add a little bit more liquid, and then I would add in nuts, like my container of nuts, instead of having avocado, and I would add in coconut instead of having salad dressing. So I would add in that and then sometimes I'd add in a teaspoon. I mean, it was like so good.
And the nice thing is like every week they're putting on more Shakeology dessert recipes and ways to, eat your dessert daily. So all great options. Lots of great cookies on there now too. So just, figure out, what is going to feel satisfying to replace those other things. Well, good. All right. Well, gosh, we're already at 6. So, okay, the meal prep class, the next one is March 5th.
Yay, March.
This Friday's Funky Friday is Galentine's Day. So I don't know, just either wear your friend's shirt or a love shirt or,
Well, it's also in honor of Heart Month. That's what it was.
right. Oh, so did we do red then? Okay. So red.
Mhm.
So red for Galentine's Day.
Mhm.
And I think that's about all we have like coming up in the near future.
Do you want to take a picture?
I would love to take a picture. Do you want to get a palm tree behind you?
Yeah, where's your palm tree? Come
I
on.
think
Let's see your view, Lily.
there's my view.
There
water.
we go.
Okay, you can't see because
Okay.
I'm blurred. Hold on.
Okay.
I gotta get my blurred background off.
Oh, there you go.
They won't do it.
All right. That's all right. We'll take a picture. You get yourself in there.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? Cheese. Okay. Good looking crew. All right, ladies. Then we'll see you later. As always, if you have any questions, just put them into the chat, the nutrition chat. Joy, are you in the nutrition chat?
Yes,
Okay, good.
I was gonna ask about the sugar thing in the nutrition chat, but I didn't want to
You
start.
totally can in there too, because I'm sure other people may have recipes that have helped them and
Okay.
Mhm.
and different things. I think it'd be a great conversation to have in there.
Yep.
So feel free to add it in. Yeah, because it's going to be helpful for everybody. I mean, it's probably one of the biggest things we all struggle with.
Especially over the holidays, it was awful.
Yeah. Yeah. And you haven't, like, we were talking with Jen the other day, and she was really craving those Valentine's candies. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you have an emotional tie to them, right? Like, so there's certain times of the year, there's going to be certain foods where you have an emotional tie to that holiday, that food, that, someone's house and whatever they make. And it's okay. I mean, maybe you have one. It's just kind of putting it
Okay.
in a way that it's not, the whole pan, or continuing to have it day after day.
part.
You have to figure, okay. And if you can't just have one, then maybe you need to delay it
Yeah.
again. You'll be like, I'll have this next year.
It's
Oh,
like
next
Yeah.
year.
just have got to eat the whole bag.
Put it up for a year.
Yeah, see, those are things that I say are like trigger things. Like you have to know what's going to be your trigger.
Yeah.
Like I had to keep cereal out of my house because it was like I knew that I would sit down and just,
Yeah.
get
Like I don't
and
have
eat.
soda in my house. I
Right.
never buy.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think it's not the soda, it's the sweets. But I know if I had soda in my house and I was craving a sweet, I'd go to the soda.
Yeah.
Carrie,
Yeah.
it's been so long since I had sorry.
Did you?
I used to do the same thing with Oreos. She just said, Carrie said Oreos were her issue. And I used to, yeah, I mean, I would, oh my gosh. And they had like the chocolate and peanut butter Oreos but
Yeah.
I went for so long without having an Oreo that once, and I was drinking Shakeology regularly, that then when I had another Oreo, it was like, what just happened in my mouth?
Yeah.
Literally
forgot
was like,
Nutter
this is
Butters.
so gross.
Yeah. Like after I had Nutter Butters in a long time, I was like, did they change them? Because this isn't even nearly as good as it used to be. I don't know what's happened.
Yeah, no, it's not. And it was that. And then I had something else. It was like something that I had really fond memories of eating. And then I had it and it was so bad. And I'm like, I just need to stop because I'm like killing my memories.
Yeah.
What amazing these things were. Like they just need to stay back in memory lane.
Yeah.
Coke.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, Coke. Right. Yeah. They don't taste the same because your taste buds have like just completely transformed and your gut has transformed. So it just doesn't taste the same as what it used to. Yeah.
You can just keep your memories. You can keep
Exactly.
your fond memories of how you felt about those things.
When we
Mhm.
cut out salt and then I ate a saltine cracker, I felt like I
Oh.
had a mouthful of salt.
Yes.
Like, yeah, because then we were eating the unsalted tops. And then when you
Yeah.
eat the salted ones, like, holy cow.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can change your palate, and
Yep.
it's amazing. Well, good. All right. I'll let everybody get off. So it was good to see you guys, and we'll see you. I gotta stop saying you guys. It was good to see you,
It's
ladies,
okay.
friends, and we will see you next Thursday or tomorrow in the groups. Wear your red, okay?
Yeah, tomorrow, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, a bunch of us are working
Oh
out
yeah,
together.
if you want to work out live with us, we're going to be on 10, 11, 12, 1, depending on what time zone you're in, 10 Pacific, 1 Eastern.
Yeah,
And
not sure
we'll
what workout we're doing.
We'll
but
pick a workout together, and if you don't want to do that workout, you can still work out with
that's
us.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. We're
We're
still
just
going to be there.
And we're going to do it
8,
together.
so 8 for me.
8 for
Trying to
Hawaii.
figure
Anybody in
8 for
Hawaii?
me.
8
One-
o'clock.
Yeah,
One for
anybody
Eastern.
in that time zone. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I gotta
Anybody
figure
in
it out.
Paradise? 8 o'clock.
I need to figure out if I have access to a bike. That's what I need to figure out.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because that would be good to know.
Is there a gym there?
Yes, we're at the Westin right now. So the Westin has gym with a bike usually, and then weights. So, but the next place that we go to will not have either of those.
Oh,
So
Yeah, so if
Yep.
you can, then we can do a bike one this week and then not do them because you're there for 2 more Fridays, right?
Mhm.
3
Wow.
Fridays total?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then we could do a
so-
non-bike after. Yeah, let us know if you find a bike.
Yep.
I'll go look when we get off. I'll go scope out the gym.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right,
Hotel living.
ladies. Have a good
Okay,
night.
Thank you.
See you guys
Bye.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.